Hello and welcome everybody to this month's Instructors Forum. Of course, even though it's an Instructors Forum, we welcome everybody, even people who know nothing about Tai Chi. I'm sure will find some enjoyment being here, especially to this month's topic, Tai Chi and dancing. This is a fascinating and fun topic. But before we start, let me introduce my team, starting with Evan, who's controlling the internet thing to make sure that everyone's seeing and the voice here. So Evan, you want to say anything, Evan?
Oh, I'll just say hello to everyone and welcome. Send a message in the chat to me directly if I can try to help support your any technical needs. But otherwise, just welcome.
Thank you, Evan. And then Nulas from UK. This is a really unusual time. I think it's pretty late. Nula, welcome. You want to say something?
Just enjoy this great topic, everybody. I'm sure it will be great.
Thank you. And Ernie doesn't need any introduction. You probably have talked to her this time or time before. Ernie coordinate this workshop. Ernie's from USA. And Ernie and Nula, one from USA, one from UK, and they are so amazingly dedicated. Both of them are going to be present for the two zones. So both of them are going to have some very, very late or very, very early hours. So that just to make sure we keep our consistency and giving you really good service. So if you need to say anything in between, the best way is to use chat so that Ernie or Nuala or Greg's going to help too. Ernie, you going to say something?
Sure. This is going to be a very exciting topic. We have probably the largest participants joining us, over 120 US, and about 50 will be joining us in 5 or 6 hours, Nula's side of the world, over the other side of the pond. So this is going to be just a lot of fun. We look forward to it for a long time. So welcome, everyone. We'll catch up with you later.
Thank you, Ernie. And Greg's going to help too with running this. Greg, do you want to say hello?
Hello, everybody. Looking forward to fielding all your questions on this topic. It'll be interesting.
Thank you, Greg. Well, it's a topic that there's so much to say about. I'm going to have a chance to say something about it, but we're really privileged and very lucky to have a world-class, world-famous dancer, choreographer, and Tai Chi instructor in the shape of Jerry Pearson. For those who haven't met him, you will be impressed, and he's just such an amazing person. So innovative, and I guess when you have listened to his perspective of Tai Chi relating to dancing, you would find it, you will find it very stimulating, and you learn a lot. And Jerry has just incredible experience in dancing. I think he'll show you some of that. So without further ado, everybody, Jerry Pearson.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to do a screen sharing here. I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see my face the whole time, but I'm going to do a keynote type of thing where I'm seeing. So you'll be hearing my voice, not necessarily seeing me all the time. This is a little different than a lot of the other talks and works that I've been doing with my videos. I'm going to be more on topic, and lots of times I'm just showing my dances and my work, and this is much less that of, but talking about dance and Tai Chi. I'm very excited to share it because I've loved Tai Chi and I've loved dance. I've danced, I've been in the dance business now for over 50 years as a professional dancer, as a choreographer, as an educator, as a director. And when I retired from the university where I was teaching dance, I really started to take up Tai Chi, and the Tai Chi and dance go together for me. So this talk is about that. So we're going to start with screen sharing. Okay. All right. All right. So dance and Tai Chi. Let's start off here with a little. This is me dancing. It's a good 40 years ago, but my life has been dance. I've loved dancing, and for me, I've always just enjoyed being graceful and strong and wild and all the things that dance can be. One thing that for me is that what dance is about took over my life, so that the whole idea of dancing is when things are hard and you have to work hard, you can change them into something magical and beautiful. And that transformation of, the metaphor of that you can make things into a wonderful world, even though they're hard. Now we'll start off with, what do dance and Tai Chi have in common? Of course, they share the same instrument, the human body. And so all the mysteries and complications of the human body apply, obviously, to both Tai Chi and to dance. They're both nonverbal arts. So I probably would do better by just stop talking right now and finish up the whole thing. But I will verbally try to talk about the nonverbal arts, and we'll carry on with that. This is a big point for me, is that the whole idea of what basic body language is. As a choreographer, you're not using words to explain and to tell your stories and to make your poems, and you're using body language. You're using dance steps, and the way the body communicates is by opening and closing. If you're, for people that you love and you see them, you open your arms and you open and you give them your heart and you let them into that space. And people who you don't like, you protect yourself. You close yourself in, you close your chest, you close your neck. And your body works, the whole body works that way. There's soft parts of the body that let energy in, and then there are hard parts of the body that close it. So you have open and close, hard and soft, and that idea of welcoming and rejecting. And that's pretty much all movements start from that too, of the opening and closing. So in Tai Chi, there's a lot of opening and closing of the qua and the different parts, so that you can pong and work your way through by feeling those energies. And both of these arts work with a sense of touch. Now, I talk a lot about touch, and I don't necessarily mean just actually physically touching. What I mean is that in dance you receive information and send information from your body energy, and that your body energy can send energy out, like shooting it out, like hitting and striking that, and it can receive energy. You got the yang energy and the yin energy, and that idea of how these things work together and you can feel the energy through your sense of touch. It's your sense of touch. Even if you're not being touched, you can feel it when you're watching other people dance, or people are coming towards you or trying to hurt you. You can tell beforehand. And so the idea of there's a kind of contact that happens that I call dance, and happens in Tai Chi. Now here's an example here in dance of the energy moving through the body. Boom. Now that both these people are extending an energy line, and one is more passive than the other, but they're both absolutely necessary to make this happen, to make this design happen. You can see in the guy how, you know, he's just sending that energy up and through his whole body would have to make it. And that happens even if you're not touching. Now here's a good example here of this. This woman gets thrown up in the air, but whoa. Even when you're not touching, there's an incredible connection that's happening. And your whole nervous system, and I've done all these lifts. My life has been lifting people up over my head. And it's both people have to participate. If the person who's being lifted doesn't participate, they feel like a sack of potatoes, and they feel like they weigh 200 pounds as opposed to this person who probably weighs, 100 pounds. It happens when you're far away. Is like if someone's running towards you and going to leap into your arms, your body registers that. It listens to it. It can feel that energy coming toward it. And so when that's happening, you have to prepare your body, and that happens in Tai Chi. You're responding to it. And all these forms can be social group forms or solo forms. So how do you learn how to do that? How do you learn how to listen? Well, there are times here where you just you feel it, you sense it, you actually feel the other person. And here and then, as we have this great moment here in Dirty Dancing, and we put it together, and so we have Tai Chi dancing here, where you actually are feeling each other with a kind of sensitivity and working. Excuse me. All right. Now I'm going to show you a video. A video of a dance I created. This is I created this dance, okay. And I taught the Chen 36 form. This is to show, can dancers do Tai Chi? That's the question. I got to visit the Shaolin Temple with Dr. Lam about quite a few years ago. It was a wonderful experience. To show more of man, woman uniting into one. Okay, so again, here the idea of how can these work together, or what are so here, these are Dr. Lam's Tai Chi principles here that I have down here. And what the question in my mind is, when I see this, is can I take a group of dancers, and if I, start teaching them these things, can I approximate what Tai Chi is? And if I have a group of dancers and say, I want you to move slowly and smoothly and continuously, and to show some gentle resistance against the air, and you have an upright posture, and you have a very defined kind of weight transfer, how we do in Tai Chi, and that internally there's a lot going on, which they're not going to learn all at one time, but you want to have the idea of your joints loose and open, and the idea of being here now, that mental quietness and awareness, put that together. And does that approximate Tai Chi? And I think you can do some of that. I would add on this list myself, so not saying that, but my list would be different in using this problem. I would add on to that list, to make it look like Tai Chi, that the movements all come from a central axis, and that as they're moving on that central axis that they create from that, centrifugal and centripetal aspect of making circles and spirals and rounding. And I think that would add just a little bit more of at least the look of Tai Chi. Tai Chi is one of the most complicated dances I've ever come across. I mean, it is so much going on of how your weight is transferred, how you move from your Kwa and your Dantian, and how the response and rolling it. I mean, trying to teach Tai Chi is like the most complicated dance I've ever seen. So, okay, now, how come I'm not getting it to change? Am I frozen? Oh, okay, there we go. Why do we do Tai Chi or dance? Okay, what do we want? We want to be engaged. We want to feel like we're doing something that's worthwhile. We want to be moved. We want this to have an emotional reason why we're doing things. We want to be touched. Okay, some of these are kind of the same, but I'm making up these lists. This is, I'm not a master yet here. This is for discussion. That we want to win. Here's something I think is very interesting. They want to win. I think this idea of, what is it that, what is winning? And like winning is that we're able to do what we want to do, and we don't hurt these other people while we're doing it. So that when we win, that we're able to make something positive and be optimistic and do all that. And then at the same time, everyone else feels engaged and moved and touched. And so there's an idea of feeling successful by what you're doing is helpful and good for you and good for society. Want to be recognized. We all want to be seen, and it's part of it's part of what dance is. It's part of what Tai Chi is. There's focus and all that happening. And when do we want it? We want it now. And so that's just the nature of desire. So how do you get the sensitivity, and how does Tai Chi go about doing this so that these things can happen? We got the commencement, that you have a whole system of finding sensitivity. You find your structure, you get your posture in place, and all set. You relax, you breathe, you sink, and you settle down. You cleanse your mind, and some of us have a filthy mind, so that takes a certain amount of time. And you're coming to the point where you arrive at Wu Ji. You're ready. And then, so that, what are you ready for? In the martial arts, are you ready to fight, or are you ready to represent your martial art, as a warrior? Are you ready for anything? Are you ready to help? Are you ready? You're ready. You're just all ready. And for dancing, what do we do to start dancing? How do you get going? Well, number one, put on some music. What you want to do is find a relationship. You want to find a relationship. What is your impulse? And this is the idea of have a relationship. Then you find out if you got the music going, or you have someone saying, let's dance. You don't just look at the reason that you don't want to dance. You try to find your willingness why you want to do these things. And then the idea of, once you've been able to focus on whatever you're dancing with, whether it be a person or music or emotion or concept, then you try to have empathy and that listening ability to know that person. And so that will bring you more and more into it. And the reason I bring this up is I think more people have asked me of how do I actually get off the sofa and do my Tai Chi? It's like, what is that, of how you do that? And these are part of the way that you do those things. You find ways that you can stop watching your reruns of Friends and things like that, and you're able to find that there's a kind of connection, a kind of, again, magic that happens if you can just reach out and get going. So this is my major theme here, this idea of listening with a sense of touch. Now, it's not really listening, it's an awareness. that you're trying to use your whole body to feel something. So, I mean, you see with, sight is seeing and hearing, with your ears, and this idea of the sense of touch is what makes you feel the impulses. It feels the awareness of the other person, makes you feel your awareness to gravity, makes you feel the awareness of how the energy is moving your body. It's your sense of touch. And that yin aspect of it can be an active force. You have to separate the yin and the yang, and it's really hard to do them both at the same time. They're kind of the same thing. So, if you do them at the same time, it gets all mixed up. There's a very interesting aspect of how that separation of yin and yang works, and that's happening. Okay, and again, listening is an active process. It takes energy. It takes energy to do it, so that you have to focus. Focus, for God's sakes. I just put this down here because I thought it was clever. I am here to hear you. Okay, it has no meaning other than I think it's kind of clever. Once you make contact, this is where you go from the Wu-Ji into Tai Chi, and that's where the magic happens. That moment where you make contact and you realize, I don't have to know everything. These things will happen. I don't have to know what to say or what to do. There's a flow that goes on that one can find, and that's the 10,000 things. And the other part here is that to make these things happen, you got to stay rooted. You got to feel gravity. You have to stay connected with your, both your yin and your yang. And this takes concentration and energy to keep it going. But when you're in the groove, when you're in the zone, the energy keeps going by itself. And so you're wrapping up here. Okay, taking dance now as a metaphor, which includes Tai Chi, which includes life. How do you listen? How do you yin and yang? So dance is about relationships. It's the awareness of the between and among that allows us to connect with forces bigger than just ourselves. You always dance with something, with the music, with an emotion, with an idea, or with someone you love. You never dance alone. Every conscious moment is an opportunity to dance, to connect with this vast diaphanous membrane of awareness. When you are really dancing with someone, you flow into them and they flow into you, and you become one. It's like surfing with giant waves. You feel wild and free, and you have infinite energy, and you feel like you can dance forever. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry. It's an amazing talk. I know every time I have talked to Jerry, danced with Jerry, Tai Chi with Jerry more, there's always something I learn, and this is incredible. What a talk! I hope you go back and look at it again, and really feel how much is in it. Let me just say some of the things I caught, and I'm going to look at it again. Being engaged. Jerry talked about being engaged, being in the flow. Part of that. That's reminds me that kind of connect to the study of flow. There's a lot of psychologists who study when people are in flow or in the zone, that's where time doesn't matter. You are just fully engaged with yourself. And some of you read my book. I talk about the book Flow, written by Michaela Csikszentmihalyi. This is a professor who's the guru of the flow study, and Jerry mentioned 10,000 things happening. I think that's a coincidence. Csikszentmihalyi's most famous study, he actually studied 10,000 people, and he gave them a recording, and then he measured them. Every now and then they get a beep. These people will stop whatever they're doing, and they will write down what they're doing, how they feel, and then the monitor will record their body response and so on. So this is just, you can just imagine how incredibly difficult and expensive to conduct that study. And he's just amazing. So some of the things he say about people who are more in flow tend to be healthier, happier, and live longer. And he gave examples and so on. So you do have to read the book Flow. The only fault in that book, Flow, is he didn't mention a lot about Tai Chi. Because in Tai Chi and dancing, and as you hear Jerry, that is a lot of times we are in flow. He did mention something about meditation and similar phenomena, and Tai Chi is a form of meditation that gets you to flow. So I just want to remind people who hasn't been with us, the Tai Chi for Health community around the world, we have annual workshops. That's the highlight, where we get together from different parts of the world, and we do one in January in Sydney, do one in mid-year in USA, and so far altogether we have done 48 annual workshops. And in most of those workshops, on Friday evening, it's a whole week workshop. So on Friday, we have a dance. Everybody let their hairs out, and it was like a highlight of the year. And I just see so many people who fully engage or lost in self or in flow or just enjoy ourselves. And of course, we don't dance like the dance Jerry has shown us. They are just like artistic, beautiful, out of this world. But you know, we just move around and we really enjoy ourselves. So in some way, we feel the same. And there's a lot of things Jerry mentioned to make more sense when you're there on Friday night with us and feel the energy from everybody with the music. And so how, I mean, you know, Tai Chi derived the law of nature. It's based on law of nature. And dancing is really part of our human nature, I think. I can recall my most vivid memory of dancing is when I was about 10. And some of you who know my life would know that was a time that I have a tumultuous, a horrible childhood. Life was really, really tough and hard. And we've been discriminated. We're really, really poor, poorly educated. But in the primary school, one day the teacher wanted us to go in the weekend to clean the classroom because it's always dirty. So we went, and as it turned out, even in communist China, people don't always listen to teachers. Only 5 or 6 of our students turn up. And of course, I was there. And she decided instead of cleaning up, she would do the song, and we would just dance around with each other in the most primitive way. And that was the most enjoyable, one of the most enjoyable time in my childhood. And that just is so natural. We just follow her rhythm, and so I remember one of our one of the person I respect most as a teacher as a Tai Chi person is Professor Vince McCallum. Vince was a professor in the Saddleback College, and he is the first person who brought things like Tai Chi and yoga into the college. And those days, people think, this is back like 50 years ago, those days, people think those are feminine, sissy things to do. And Vince also coached the university or the college football, and their football team did really well. So he doesn't have to prove he's not feminine. He's already got his manhood shown by his football team, and he was able to do that. And Vince became one of our instructors, then master trainer. We got to be friends with each other. And one day he said to me, of course I'm a terrible dancer. I got 2 left feet, and but I always join in those Friday evenings, and most of the time non-stop enjoying it myself. And Vince thought that was the best part of me. So that's Vince. He always see good things out of people. He always see my energy and how much I enjoyed it. So I do think letting yourself go and dance in some way, I can't describe as well as Jerry did, in some way improve my Tai Chi. I'm sure of that. And I think if you go back and look at Jerry's talk again, you can understand it better. Okay, so that's my talk. I just, so thank you, Jerry. That was a wonderful talk, and I'm going to look at it again, and I really enjoyed being there and listening to your word of wisdom and experience and very personal message. We're very fortunate to have you sharing it to so many people. So I think the next thing we're going to have questions. Ernie, do we have any questions for Jerry and me?
Dr. Lam and Jerry, there are so many comments complimentary, just very much enlightened by Jerry's talk. Just one after another, so many things here. The most recent here, someone is asking Jerry, how can we access one of the videos or some of the videos that you showed at the Cincinnati week-long workshop when we had the theater for a morning assembly? Would those be available on YouTube, or can you tell us how we could see some of those wonderful videos?
Yes. I showed 4 videos, and 3 of those videos are on YouTube. So that Dance in the Light and the other the rap video and the Dr. Meet Mr. Yang, those are on YouTube. And if you look up, if you just go Jerry Pearson Tai Chi, there's kind of a whole mess of kind of messy videos that I've had there over the years, which I should clean up. But you can find that, and open up all the ones that have my picture on the front there, and some of those have extra ones in there, so you can see that. The last video that I did at the workshop there is I'm still working on. I'm working on very hard. I showed it to some of my people who are in the film business, and I got a lot of crits film-wise on it of things that were very smart and made a lot of sense. And I when I'm doing it, I build up energy by doing the same way I build up dances, and I don't explain it in the same kind of way that you're used to seeing in film. So it was interesting to get some really good solid crits about how to improve on those kind of things, because most of the time I'm just making them for this audience here. This is my audience, the Tai Chi people, and so I feel honored that people want to see my videos, and so and especially live. So Yes. So it is on YouTube. I will. I'll do the other video, the artist's tale. I'll do that in Sydney, and it'll have its grand premiere of. Well, I guess it wouldn't be the premiere, but it'll be the Australian premiere at the workshop there.
Thank you, Jerry. And when you did that search, you will probably find some of the videos are posted through me as well, through the Tai Chi for Health
Yeah.
Institute, especially the presentations. That's been captured by video and it's there.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful, the beautiful videos. And the one that Jerry hasn't completely finished, he did show us, and that really helped make a lot of us think about it. I talk about that in my newsletter. If you go to
Yes, I saw
Tai
that.
Chi
Yeah.
for Health Institute's website, you can see the past newsletters. I think it's one in July or August, and you can read a little bit of what I felt about the last video. Jerry is amazing, and it really helped make us think. And yeah, thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, and I do. I mean, if you are interested more in my dance life and my dance, that Dancing with Chi that I did in Cincinnati back in 2019, I mean, it was really well. I mean, the sound is really good, and you know, we edited it down. All my little mistakes have been taken out, and so it's yeah. I mean, it has a lot about my life as a dancer and a lot more of my choreography and my dancing. So that if you're interested in the dance part, that's really a good way to go. So.
I might add, Jerry, I have viewed on YouTube 6 times at least, if not more, because I just love it. It's wonderful. It's First Light. So it's Jerry Pearson, First Light. And Jerry goes through the chin form, chin 36. And the photography is wonderful. I believe your wife was one of the photographers. Amazing how I think he used a drone. I'm not sure, but it was beautiful scenery there in California with the ocean, the sunset, sunrise. And so, yeah, thank you so much for that. So that would be a good one for people to check out if you want to talk about it a little more. But he's actually going through Chen. And those of you who know Chen will recognize that. So it's dance and Chen
So,
all
yes.
put together, just beautiful. With the scenery, so emotional.
So we did just get a question here. Since Dr. Lamb mentioned the dancing in Cincinnati, he says, delighted to watch Dr. Lamb with others dancing the dancing video in the newest newsletter. Was that all freestyle, or did you try to move together with the form?
Well, I think somebody started doing a bit of Tai Chi there, and I think we're doing some chain style, and that almost always happen in the dancing evening, and yeah, that was fun. Thank you. Great. You can go to my last newsletter. Someone, I think that I think who or someone filmed it and sent me the film. Becky posted on YouTube. Yeah.
Shelley's
So we have a
reminding
comment
me,
here.
I just watched it yesterday myself the second time. And Shelley's reminding us here in the chat box that the song was to Kung Fu Fighting, the dance that was done on Friday night just for fun. But everyone was doing Chin and going with the flow, and it was so much fun. So click on that newsletter link and enjoy it again.
So Jerry,
Yeah.
what?
So I remember
ahead.
that Adrian took mobile phone video of that, and she's in the States. She used to do massage, and because of COVID, she changed it to teaching Tai Chi, and there's a lot of people come to her. It's amazing. She's an amazing lady too. Sorry, back to you.
Jerry, what attracted you? How'd you make that transition from dance into Tai Chi? I mean, children are born, you know, like 5 or 6 years old, you're always dancing, but you're not doing Tai Chi when you're 5 or 6 years old. So what made you notice Tai Chi? What made you kind of move in that direction?
I was in contact and took some Tai Chi classes way back in the 60s, kind of as a hippie kind of thing. And so, you know, I wasn't real serious about it, but I found it interesting. Later, when I was a dance, you know, instructor, I was a professor and I was teaching dance, but I wasn't able to stay in shape and same kind of way. I found that Tai Chi had an appeal that I wanted to find. And when I did go on a trip once with some dance educators, we had a trip to China, and we did learn the Yang 24 when we were in China. And so I started doing that. But I didn't really remember it, so I had to find Paul Lamb's video on the Chen 24. And I just, once I started doing a whole form, you know, that's always the amazing thing about forms. It's like the same thing with a dance, a longer dance. You know, it's the experience. You can go through time. It's like banks of a river or something like that. The water goes through, and so you're allowed to take a longer journey, and that journey can build, you know, from what came before. And so once I found that, you know, that the learning a form, you know, it extended the experience so that you could repeat. It was. I mean, that sounds like duh, but it really was a big deal. And I did want to learn different forms. And then when I saw the 73, it's like, oh, I'd really want to learn that one. That has a whole more of a bubbly feeling to it, that, you know, with the little steps and the moving and the changing directions. So it was like, you know, like to swim in different rivers. And you know, so the transition was because I was getting older, and I wanted to find some exercise that I found aesthetically pleasing, and I didn't have to go to a gym.
Somebody has, Evan posted the link to the video in the chat there, if you haven't seen the video.
Good.
And you made a comment about how Tai Chi moves around that central axis, that the Dantian basically is what I think you were talking about. So there's that core central area that everything moves around in Tai Chi. Not so much in dance. How's that different from dance? Dance does some of that, but not strictly that.
Yeah, I mean, in dance, I mean, particularly because people like to turn, you know, because of pirouettes, that you want to be able to whip around and do, like, you know, 3, 4, 5 pirouettes if you want to claim to be, you know, fancy dancer. And so and you also want to be able to turn in the air, tour à l'air, of, you know, so you go up and you spin in the air when you're going around there. So you have to have a central axis, and it's, you know, it's yes, when you get right down to it, they have a lot of similarities. It's the Tai Chi is much more of the needle in the cotton, where everything is moving around it, and with dance, you kind of have to take the whole package with you. So you get much harder, boom, you know, and you know, kind of make yourself into a little pencil and spin yourself around, as opposed to finding how that rotary axis works along with the pelvis and everything. So there is a difference, but I think actually really good dancers find that, you know, those same principles and start using them. So
excellent. Again, any other questions? Post them in the comments section. Okay, here. Can Tai Chi people learn to dance? Not necessarily performing dance, but more like social dancing, as Jerry's dancers learn Tai Chi.
Yeah, I was always impressed with those dances that Paul was talking about, you know, at the workshops. That how people get up, and that feeling of kind of people getting their butts off their seats and getting moving, and that, you know, I mean, all of us have a, you know, different relationship to, you know, socially moving, you know, getting up, of when people can see you. I was, you know, I'm an extrovert, and so when I get energy from people looking at me, I mean, if I get to have 2,000 people or something like that, it's like, wow, this is great, you know. So and other people looking at them shuts them down. You know, it's you know, they can't take that much energy in, and you know, I think that I think in my little section of what do we want, I think we all want to be seen, recognized. We all want to be, you know, that you know, to have that to be moved and to be touched, but we have to choose our own doses on how that works, you know. And you know, so it and so I'm on the wrong side there. I seek out any huge crowd I can find, and I love it. But other people don't leave their house. You know, there's a wide range of how people respond to energy. And so, yes, people. The whole idea of dancing is really, I mean, you just get up and move and do what's fun. That's it. And then, but you have to accept the fact that you're going to look different than other people look, and you know, the only way to really just look good all the time, well, is not do it. You know, I mean, I've trained for 50 years, and I still see videos of myself like just dancing socially, and I'm hugely embarrassed that's what it looks like, because I'm used to like, oh, I should have rehearsed that. You know, it's like, but that's not what it's about. So.
Thank you,
looks
Jory. We're seeing and getting the feeling from you, the emotion. It's feeling the joy, you know, feeling the air, feeling the joy. That's the connection that I'm seeing right now between the two. I might say that we typically in our forums have breakout sessions where you get to meet a few others who are instructors or students and introduce yourselves, where you are from and so on. So Evan's going to do that. It's all totally random. So Evan, you want to put people into short breakout sessions?
Yeah.
Introduce
So
yourself, where you're from.
we'll just head to a quick breakout session, and then we'll be back here to close the meeting. Thanks, everyone.
Welcome back, everybody. Did you have fun meeting everybody from different parts of the world and different parts of the USA? Is everybody back? Right. Well, we're running just a little bit behind time, but that means we have a good time sharing ideas. So I just want to let you know that next month, the topic for next month is about what Tai Chi for different medical conditions. How does it work for different Tai Chi for different conditions? And we invite people, you or your friends, to bring your questions on how it works for certain type of condition. And then the invited speaker is Professor Rayon Song. Rayon is, Professor Song is a professor of nursing who are world famous for many Tai Chi research she has conducted from South Korean Cheongnan National University. And so if you look at the introduction, it explains what she's going to talk about, and she's going to stay, answer questions, and of course I'll be here giving you my perspective for Tai Chi for different medical conditions. That's very much to the heart of what I did, and answer questions. So do let your friends know. But we decided we still want you to vote for the next topic, but for the month after September, for October, so that we can let the message out earlier so people know what's coming. So the month after, in October, we're thinking of two possible topics. One is about Tai Chi, about how to synergize the spiral force. The next topic is why should everybody do Tai Chi for health? There's different ways to look at that. So you will receive a survey which will ask you to vote for one of these two topics. And by all means, send your suggest topics, if it's not in one of the choices, so we can bring it up for the vote next month for the month after. All right, so before we totally finish, anybody, I invite Ernie to say something, and anybody in the panel like to say something? Ernie first.
Sure. Just really quickly reminding that registrations are open for two locations for Dr. Lamb to be in-person fall workshops. This will be in September in Kansas City. Be the depth of 24 forms on September 15th, the depth of Tai Chi for arthritis fall prevention, September 16th and 17th. And then also the following weekend, Long Island, New York, 2-day workshop, depth of Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention. That'll be September 22nd and 23rd. Registrations are open. Now go to the TCHI website, or you can contact us, the USA Workshops. That would be Pat and me. I can put in what the address and phone number is, and we will help you with that registration. So just two different locations this fall. We'll have Dr. Lamb with us in the US. So hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Ernie. Usually in fall, I do 6 locations, 2 workshop each. However, because of the personal commitments, I have to look after my partner. My workshops are cut down really, really short. So I hope to see as many of you as possible and have really good in-person time working together. Does anyone like Evan, and do you want to say something?
Well, I'll just quickly clarify that the New York, Long Island workshops, I think, will be posted in the next few days. I think those were just recently finalized, and so you'll see the registration link for that coming up in the next few days. And certainly, if you email Ernie at the email address that she just posted, service at Dr. Lam Tai Chi Workshops, you can register your interest. Otherwise, I think I just wanted to remind you that we take a photo before we leave. We always do that at the end of the forum. So
we do it now?
What shall we do? Yes.
Yeah.
What would you like us to do, Dr. Lam or Jerry?
Jerry.
I want the I want this dance position here, everyone. There you go. That's good.
Got it?
I think there you go. Just everyone just kind of have something kind of gnarly over on the side there, and it'll look like we all know Tai Chi. Yeah.
And we're gonna do 2 pages this time. So 1, 2, 3. And that was our first page. Hang on just a moment while I save it. Okay, and here comes our second page. Just, you don't know which one you were on, so you have to do it
You don't
again.
know what page.
So, okay, so 1, 2, 3. Great. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Jerry. That was great.
Okay. God.
Thank you. Well, a Tai Chi pose. This one.
Yeah,
Come and join
do
me.
a Tai Chi pose.
Oh, we're doing another one. Hang on just a second. I'm just going to save the first one. And okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's the first page. And just a second.
So we don't know what page we are, so we're going
Nope, you got to do it
Nobody knows
again.
what page
Hang
it is.
on. And here's the second page. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Great. Thank you.
So in case you want to know, this is a rollback pose. It's a way to touch, feeling the incoming energy, feeling the people next to you. You can also listening to the energy and redirect the energy. And also a greeting. Hey, come and join me. Right. Do anybody have any quick questions? You can certainly put it in chat, and we'll try to answer it later with email. But meanwhile, if you have something to say, or would you like to let Ernie know? And yeah, Deborah, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Am I the one?
No,
that
not only.
Or did you pick a different?
Unmute again.
Okay, you've got me? You can hear? Can you hear me?
Yes.
No. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
good. Yeah. Hi, I'm Debbie Orman. I actually call myself the Tai Chi health coach. You know, I've been in business for about 5 years, and dancing, you know, I wish I would have remembered that this workshop was today because I came late, but I've actually been integrating dancing into my Tai Chi program for a while. And it's very interesting that you've been sort of like doing the similar things. It's just really fascinating. So I love what you're doing. I just, you know, have so much respect for what you're doing. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to comment.
No, I think there's potential on different ways of, you know, that where dance could have more of a learning process of people, how you connect with different people and different energies from a dance way, and it's that would help Tai Chi and could be closely related to it. So I haven't explored that a lot, but I have some.
Yeah, I can't see who's talking because I guess I'm on a different page. It's interesting. I'm looking.
Thanks, Debbie.
Yeah.
I'll just, I think Deborah had raised her hand. Deborah, would you go ahead and share?
Actually, I think my new twin, Debbie, she said it. We all have a twin, right?
Yeah.
It was really, thank you so much, Debbie. I just wanted to tell Jerry and Dr. Lam and all of you, Jerry, thank you for sharing from your expertise point of view about movement and dance. I've always just been fascinated by everything and anything that moves, and you really gave some really great perspectives, I think, for us all to chew on in whatever our passions are, how we can approach it from a more open way. So thank you.
Well, thank you. So great to see you. Like,
I have a question. Would you think about the music for dancing or Tai Chi? What kind of music would you choose for dance or for Tai Chi?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I find it difficult just because I'm so influenced by music that the music tells me what to do sometimes, and I find it annoying when I'm doing Tai Chi that I'm getting instructions from somebody I don't want to get instructions from. So I often will just do kind of ambient, kind of new agey, or kind of just without a big beat or something like that. Otherwise, I just can't not hear the beat, and I start to just dance to the music. And so I actually don't use music very often because of the fact that I'm oversensitive and overcritical. I'm kind of a jerk sometimes about these kind of things. And so and there's some kind of, and I don't have a strong connection with Chinese music on the whole, especially when I'm doing it, it feels funny to me to be doing it. It's not that I don't like the music, it doesn't help me on that. So I find that a hard part, and I'm really a classical guy. I mean, I'll go to the symphony and operas and all these things, and that's the last music I would want to use because that just controls me. It just pulls me out into a whole different world. And so to me, music is movement. It is energy. It just comes to you and says, "Move with me." And so I occasionally I'll find something for a while that I can move with, but again, I like silence. I'm a big silence guy. Okay.
Yeah, well, Jerry, I like to say something about that. In a way, I feel the same. I find that when I turn on music, and I didn't feel comfortable doing Tai Chi. In fact, so that is why I have asked Evan, who's a musician, my daughter's a musician, and their friends to compose Tai Chi music. The idea was a lot of times music either disturb you or take over, like what Jerry was saying, takes over and you move the music. So, but Tai Chi is different. We don't want to be taken over, but it's nice to have a music that follow the rhythm and the energy. And I understand those Tai Chi music created by Evan and my daughter and their friends are based on the energy of my Tai Chi. They know my Tai Chi, they look at my Tai Chi. Now I'll let Evan talk about that.
Well, sure. We did use the videos of your forms as an inspiration, but it's really interesting to hear Jerry's thoughts about, and your thoughts too, about how music moves you. And there are some of the forms that some of the compositions we did in Tai Chi music too that have no set beat, and it's a bit more flowy. And for instance, the Tai Chi for Arthritis music that we did that has been, we've heard a lot of feedback that people enjoy doing the set to the music in the sense that it paces them in a certain way that they can follow along, but it's not quite with the beat. But that said, there are some that do have a beat, and now I'm thinking about, as we develop new music, you know, how does that influence us? I'm also so influenced by music, obviously, that is it pulls my attention in different ways, right? But we are creating more music, and we are creating a new set of music for Tai Chi that we're working on currently, and that should be coming out soon.
I just feel that when we were young, we do the loop dance jumping. You kind of wait for the loop, wait up, you know, and then you step in. Same thing with singing. You had to wait for the beat, the music to start, and then you started your sing. So everything is about the beat. It means you have to follow a rhythm, and then kind of people feel awkward. You cannot follow up the beat. But when you do the swaying music, swaying dancing, you kind of follow the flow. That's the flow. That's the feeling. I feel you kind of enjoying you're like rock on the boat, so-called, right? A lot of dancing about follow the beat.
Yeah.
So.
Well, everybody, I think we 20 minutes over time, so I'm going to officially say conclusion to this meeting, and then you're welcome to stay for another 5-10 minutes. I'll be here. So thank you for coming. See you next month, and keep thinking about Tai Chi dancing and music. This is a great topic.
Yep, we've got 28.
Welcome everybody to the August Forum, Zone 2. And even though we have less number than Zone 1, we certainly make up with the more countries. We have a lot more countries, very much where we are global organization and people from different countries. So there will be times later on we have breakout groups where you get to meet people from different countries. So yes, today that's a great topic. Let me start with introducing my team. Evans is in charge of the technical aspects. Would you like to say something, Evan?
Welcome everyone. And if you have any technical problems that I might be able to help with, feel free to send a message in the chat. But otherwise, it's great to see everyone, new friends and old. Thanks.
And the Nuala is from UK. I guess most of you know her. Nuala, would you like to say something?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's great to see so many people this time, all from different countries. And I know that you're going to really enjoy this topic. We have, I know the Dr. Lamb's just introduced Evan, wonderful Evan, who does all the tech for us, and also Ernie, who has her fingertips on everything. So yes, she does lots of work, and I think it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, is it, Evan? Ernie?
2 a.m. 2 a.m.
3 a.m. in the USA where Ernie lives, and she also was here last night, of course, as well. So thank you all very much. Please, as Evan said, please put any questions in the chat box, and we'll try, Dr. Lamb will try and answer all those as best he can. Okay, enjoy everybody. I know you're going to enjoy this. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Nora. And yes, last but definitely not least is Ernie. Ernie really coordinate this forum, and 2 a.m. her and Nora both come in both time zones. And so Nora come in the morning, which was really late at night for her. So Ernie and Nula are so dedicated. They want to make sure there's a consistency and similarity and differences between the two zones. And I love the two zones. It gives me a second chance to make up any mistakes I make early on. But the forum is a really nice, friendly place where we meet, share ideas, have fun, and also really talk about Tai Chi, or sometimes to do some Tai Chi. And it's so nice to keep in touch once a month. So the topic this month is, I think it's fun, but it also makes sense. I see so many Tai Chi friends who really enjoy dancing, and I certainly see the connections, similarity, and after listening to Jerry's talk, I learned something really interesting too, even though I know Jerry for many years. So let's start with Jerry's talk, which we tape it because 2 o'clock in the morning would be a little bit harder for people to stay awake. Anyway, some of you might not have heard of Jerry Pearson. He is a world famous dancer, choreographer, and Tai Chi teacher. If you haven't, he posts a few videos which shows in the workshop, and you just have to see how he dances and how he choreographs. It's amazing. And he has very deep and interesting understanding of the connection between Tai Chi and dance. So I'll let you enjoy his talk, and then I'll come back and talk a bit more, and there will be time for questions. And after that, there'll be times for us to meet each other in smaller groups. Okay, here's Jerry in a video that he talked this morning.
Right.
That better? There is so much in what Jerry's saying and in what he's not saying but showing. And that's so simple too. It's the dilemma of Tai Chi, yin and yang. When you start Tai Chi, like he says, there's 10,000 things happening. And then you don't need to worry about it. It will just move. The energy will take it. So you can, when you start a Tai Chi form, you think of the body upright, cleanse your mind. You think of moving your right arm, your left arm, your whole body controlled by your dantian, and the steps and the flows, the continuity. There's so many things to think, but yet you don't need to think. You just need to be there, being mindful and being at the present. So I love the way he says that we use the same instrument. The body is our instrument. And I like to add, the body and the mind is our instrument. It's more than the body. And there are just so many things that resonate with me, even though I know Jerry for many years and we talk about anything. We gather, meet many times and we do Tai Chi together, and I'm mostly teaching Tai Chi, but he teach me a lot of other things. But this talk is amazing, and it's just like what Jerry does. It makes you think, and you think it's very simple. I think we can all go back and look at it and think about it and see how it resonates with us. The other thing that really resonates with me is he talked about the flow. And I'm sure he means the flow where you're in the zone whereby you are not aware of the time, the space, you're fully engaged. He'd also talk about being engaged. And when we are doing Tai Chi or dancing, and when you are fully engaged with the movements, they're right here, then that moment live forever. That's when one of the attraction of Tai Chi is when I'm fully engaged in doing my Tai Chi. I'm not thinking about the forms. I'm not thinking about where my foot should be. I'm just fully engaged. And that is called flow or called in the zone. And a lot of top athletes used to say when they perform their very best, that they are in flow. And there was a researcher who is the guru of this phenomena in flow, Professor Michaeli Csikszentmihalyi. He did many studies and he written a book called Flow. If you read some of my articles and read my book, you would hear me talk about that and how you can use that understanding to improve our Tai Chi. Anyway, it's interesting. Jerry mentioned that when he started doing Tai Chi, 10,000 things happened because Professor Csikszentmihalyi did an amazing study on 10,000 people. He gave everybody monitors and a beeper, and it randomly beep, and he had to stop. The person had to stop whatever he's doing, write down what he's doing, what he's thinking, how does he feel, and measurements of different part of the body. And if you have done any research, you will realize to get 10,000 people to do such research is a huge, huge task. And it would cost a huge amount of money, but it brings back really useful information. In his study, it shows that when people are more in flow, and you can do many things, not just Tai Chi, but Tai Chi certainly is one of the things that can help us to be in flow. The people who's more in the zone, more in flow, are happier, live longer, and so on. And like I was saying, you must have times when in your Tai Chi forms, you just feel, in a way, no feelings. You are right in it. You don't know the time. You don't realize that you've been doing it for how long and where it is. You just fully engage. And that is a wonderful feeling of in the zone. The studies help us how to be more engaged in Tai Chi therefore how to improve your Tai Chi and how to use that to make you healthier, understand life differently. And there's many other things that I found dancing and Tai Chi are so connected. Some of you has come to our January or June workshop. You might know that we have an annual workshop in Sydney and the mid-year in USA. And so far we have done 48 annual workshops, which over last 26, 27 years. And that workshop is 1 week and it's like the highlight of the year for me and many people who's been there. Veronica being a few of them, and I think there's a few of you been there. It's in Friday night of that workshop, we usually have a dance. We have DJs and we kind of dance and the night away. And I can see a lot of people. So you saw the video, Jerry showed you the professional dancing, but most of us are not professional dancers. But it's on Friday night, I see so many of my friends who are so engaged and so happy, and we are really sharing the energy. You know, it's that is one of the things that inspire me to have this topic. That just people who, like myself, have two left leg, left foot, and I still join the dancing and really enjoying myself. Dance is, yeah, a rhythm of life. It's part of life, and certainly we can learn a lot from that, and the dancers can learn Tai Chi from us. There's the nature, life nature has so much similarity. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you have questions for Jerry, I try to answer for you. Otherwise, if I can't answer for you, we'll send him a video and email, and he will give you the answer. Otherwise, of course, if you have a question for me or any comments, please do use the chat or ways or lift your hands or just show your hands, unmute yourself, or talk to Nira is probably best. Send a chat to Nura. Nura, do we have any questions already?
We don't have any questions, but we have a nice message here from Lorraine Norton. She says, in group practices, I always feel the energy of the others around me. I like the metaphor with surfing and waves and dancers that Jerry did. The energy flowing into each other, beautiful. She was very pleased with Jerry's talk about the waves. We have another one here as well from Colin, actually. Fascinating. The aspect of dance is creative expression. Is there scope for creative expression in Tai Chi? For example, creating one's own forms?
Of course. The Tai Chi gave you a framework. The principles give us some guide, but eventually nobody does Tai Chi the same way. There's always your own energy or your own creativity within your Tai Chi. Colin, I remember one day you talked about volcano, how is it related to Tai Chi? And I was fascinated by that. I think your talk still in a video in a global community. Yeah, there's so many things in life are related, and I think the best part of it is that whatever we do, we can bring our creativity and our own energy into it, and then to share as well. Oh, by the way, I want to tell you that ever since I started doing Tai Chi, the more I got interested and the more I do Tai Chi, the more I appreciate dancing. And now that I live in the city, I have moved from the suburb to the city for a year now, and I can walk to the opera house in 40 minutes, and I can ride my bike, push bike, to the opera house in 30 minutes because it goes different ways. So I go to dancing shows a lot. And it's just incredible. I do appreciate the dedication, the feelings, and yeah, I guess I really like dances in some way. Well, I never be a good dancer, but I really enjoy doing it.
I really liked the the Tai Chi principles that Jerry mentioned. He likens dancing with the Tai Chi principles, for instance, movement and body control, which are very important in both. And also, I really liked his circles and spirals and working from a central axis, which I believe in working from your center line, which is the same. So there's lots of things that are very similar and the same in working the body. The energy, he said we give energy and receive energy. That's true. That is true. The energy flows as you flow in your Tai Chi or your dancing. And also, he said structure, and I'm going to add shape. It starts with a structure and a shape, and also, most important, syncing. All those are Tai Chi principles. So it really is very, very similar in many ways. I really enjoyed it. And also, last one, empathy and compassion, he said, with your partner. But I always say we should have empathy and compassion with our students. So it's the same. So a lot of the things are very, very similar, and we can rethink maybe. And we had another question, I think it was last night, that this person likes dancing, but has now rethinking the Tai Chi relating to dancing. So you can actually rethink how you're moving and how you actually think about your Tai Chi. We haven't any more questions. Any questions from anybody? Any more questions?
Thanks, Nora. Ernie, do you want to say something?
Unmute, Ernie. Unmute. Unmute, Ernie. You're muted.
So involved in listening to you, Nuala, you put it together so nicely. Yes, the flow, the energy, accepting realizing the internal aspect of this. There's so many similarities between Tai Chi and dancing. In fact, with my class, it was several weeks ago, someone asked me if I was a dancer, and I said, no, I don't have a dancing background, but I enjoy it so much. And they said they could see that. And I said, I could see that in them. So I learned from them, and I feel that, I think you said empathy and compassion and so on. It's a sharing back and forth. So it's whether it's your dancing or whether you're doing Tai Chi, so much the same. I think Jerry put it together so nicely. Don't you? Yeah. More questions?
Yeah. Oh, Colin, creativity. Did you enjoy the young people dancing, those young dancers doing 36 chain style? Was it creative?
Oh yes, definitely.
Fascinating. Did everybody recognize they were doing chain style 36? The young dancers with the backgrounds. I love it. Go ahead,
they were
Nora.
moving a little faster than we do with the Tai Chi, but you know, we put it together. But there was a lot going on. You're doing in opposition, different parts of that large group. It was very nice.
Yeah. Morek, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Morek.
Hi. I was really especially interested in when he talked about when he has to lift someone, the person being lifted has to be actively engaged in that lift. So in effect, they have to uproot themselves to be lifted. Now, when I'm teaching classes and I'm asking people to, sink that awareness and root into their feet, I'll often say, if you imagine, if you've ever tried to pick up a toddler who doesn't want to be picked up, you've done it. They suddenly weigh a ton, don't they? Because they're so good at just sinking into the floor. And I very often say to my students, imagine, you've all met that toddler who's so good at doing that. They don't know they're doing it. They just do it naturally. They make themselves heavier. And when we do Tai Chi and we want to be rooted, we want to be strong, I think that's what we do. And I also think I'm very interested in the fact that our relationship of our foot to the floor is such an important thing. If the floor wasn't there, you would have nothing to push against. And that, I do not know much about physics, but I know that's Newton's third law, that the force coming up, the equal and opposite force of the floor, creates energy. And that energy has to come up through your body, right? And is that not where spiraling energy comes from? So many analogies in there. I love that, but especially about the lift, I thought, there it is.
Yeah, well, and he talked about dancing is relationship, that you never dance alone. Even when you dance alone, you never dance alone. It interact with environments and your energy, which is so much about Tai Chi. I talk about how the Tai Chi principle is listening to the incoming force, absorb the incoming force, redirect the incoming force, and then reach a neutral win-win situation, combining the incoming force with your own force. That is how Tai Chi people interact with people. It's not just push, but we're really listening, keeping our own center, understanding, and then redirecting. So Tai Chi is really about relations. In fact, that is nature. We are, as human, we are made to be working, associating, interacting with other people. If you just sit there by yourself and you can practice Tai Chi forever, and I think that would be limiting, and life would be so boring. It's just that through interaction, that's how we grow and flourish. So in that way too, the principle of dancing, like Morag was saying, that people need to be willing to be lifted. And so is Tai Chi, you need to have that interacting partners have that feeling, then you get better energy from both sides. Does some make sense to you guys?
Yes.
But I guess the other part I really like about that dilemma is that while there's 10,000 things to think of, essentially you don't have to do anything. You just have to think of the principle, and you don't even think of it. But when you're mindful with the principle and you do the Tai Chi, everything just come together, and your body and mind is together. You're right here, and you are really living when you're mindful.
Exactly.
Dr. Lam, on that, I think we need to go to our breakout session, just so that we have enough time. I know I have everyone into breakout rooms that are random, and we'll just spend about 12 minutes getting to know one another and saying hi and continuing to chat about this topic as well. So I'll send you off, everyone, and we'll be back to close the meeting with Dr. Lam in a few minutes.
Well,
Welcome back, everybody. Did you have a good time talking to meet? Do you meet the same people sometimes? We've been here for a while, so you probably meet some of the same people in the breakout group. Did you? Not yet. Okay. Right. So feel free to again ask any question or comment. But I'd like you to know that the next month, the September, we already have a topic decided. The topic for December is how does Tai Chi work for different medical conditions, and we invite you to bring your questions if you're especially interested in certain conditions. And then, so for the October, we would like you to vote for the two choice of topics. We will send you a survey with the choice of the two choices to see which one you like us to be the topic. So what we're doing is trying to get the topic decided a month beforehand, so then we can let people know what's coming up and send you an email. And we will also send you a recording a little bit earlier. Apparently, the software don't allow us to send out emails to everybody after the first 10 days. So I'm going to make the recording a little bit quicker, and then we'll send it to you early on. And even if you can't come, if you register, you will get a recording to send to you.
Dr. Lam, the two topics posted for September for voting, is an option to have both of them one after the other?
That's from the survey. I've just posted the survey, and Lorraine, the survey link is in the chat for everyone, if you didn't see that. And Lorraine has already read she's
both
reading
are extremely good topics. I would vote for both of them. Could we line them up one after the other?
Okay, they're not for September, they're for October.
October, okay.
Yeah, not the next month, the month after. Can you do two? Well, actually, I think, for example, synergizing the spiral, that is a challenge for me to do it in one session.
I do not mean two in the same session. I mean both topics to be voted as good forum topic, and I like to see them done one after the other in another month. I don't want to vote for one and discard the other one.
Well, that's good. Thank you. That sounds nice. Could you put it down in your feedback, and I'll work on it. We'll work on that.
Right.
I thought they were two good topics too, and I love to talk about both of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
I'll finish the form.
And if anybody have a topic you really want to hear, by all means, put it in the survey or write us an email, and we'll try to bring it up.
I have to go now. Just to say it was absolutely amazing, fantastic, really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Lam. Thank you for putting it together.
Thank you. Good to see you, Sally. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to. Yeah, we're 4 minutes after the hour, so I'm going to officially close this forum. But stay around if you want to for the next 5 minutes. So feel free to stay.
I'll take a photo as you say goodbye.
Oh yes, sorry.
I'll just take a photo as you greet one another.
Okay, how about everybody do a greeting for a photo? Make sure, yeah, bring your hand forward.
1, 2, 3. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone.
Thank you. Thank
See you
you.
next month.
Thank you all
Tell
for
your
coming.
friends to come.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Invite everybody
Yeah.
to come next time. Invite all your friends to come and join us. Thank you,
Will do.
everybody.
This was
Thank you very
absolutely
much.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you,
absolutely.
Mara. It's good to talk to you again.